भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may we, O gods, hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we, O worshipful gods, see with our eyes what is good. May we, strong in limbs and body, sing your praise and enjoy the life allotted to us by Prajapati. Om, peace, peace, peace. Last month we didn't have the talk. We had finished in July. The Upanishad taught us how to meditate or contemplate on Brahman. We have a body, mind, intellect, and the Upanishads give us a weapon. And with these aids, we hit our target, which is the ultimate reality called Brahman. And the Upanishad gave Om as the weapon. Just like how we take the weapon arrow and fix it on the bow, and with concentrated mind, we pull the string and hit the target. Two things the Upanishad says. Before concentrating, the thoughts have to be on Brahman. Do everything whole day and concentrate on Brahman can never be possible. So thoughts on Brahman has to be there in the mind, so that those thoughts will bring a vritti. You have read the Raja Yoga, in that you have learned what vritti is. So we create Brahmakara vritti by constantly meditating on Brahman. At other times, that's what we call manana. It's not dhyana, meditation. It's manana, contemplation, or analyzing, thinking. So the mind gets saturated with this idea. When we sit for meditation, it enters into a meditative mood, goes into meditation. Naturally, it can. Otherwise, generally what happens when we sit for meditation, we hardly get the concentration because we are always engaged in too many things. The head is full of a lot of cobwebs. So hardly it can think of Brahman. And so what we do, either we go around thinking or we sleep. This is the only two things we do in meditation and the so-called meditation. So in order to reach the target, the constant remembrance is essential. Bhavagatena chetasa, it said. The chitta, the mind should be always in that bhava, in that idea. So the mind, the chitta, the mind stuff gets saturated with that idea, where it enables for a smooth meditation. The meditation will not be, it's only a warfare with us now. So smoothly the mind will go into it. And the next is, he said, do not allow apramattena, without disturbing. First is constantly concentrating the mind on higher truth. And the next, not allowing, because the chitta is full of desires. It's the desires that bring all the ideas and too many things. So, apramattena, when we are learning the archery, our concentration will be shown so much. Even slightest movement of the hand or eyes, just you will miss the target. Sri Ramakrishna used to always give the example of Arjuna. When Arjuna, as a little boy, when he tried to target, teacher asked, "What do you see?" They were expected to hit a parrot on the tree. What do you see? Do you see the sky, blue sky? No. The green tree? No. The branches? No. The parrot? No. What do you see then? I see the eye of the parrot. The teacher had taught him, had asked him to hit the eye of the parrot. So the eye only that much. So this is called as bhavagatena apramatena. These are two. With the thoughts on Brahman and without interruption, without the disturbance of any other thought. With this is how you need to meditate with the help of Om. The Upanishad knows that we are all very ordinary sadhakas. We need lot of things, like little toddlers need walkers. They hold the walker and start putting one step, they take steps. So like that, the Upanishad gives us Om. In our bhakti schools, as we do, we have an Ishta mantra. We have a deity. We have a chosen deity, our Ishta mantra. This also is like a weapon. And who is the target? Our Ishta. And our mind. Our, what do you call, the individualized jiva. Individualized self. That's the person who is targeting through Om the target called Brahman or your Ishta. So, and then, so don't talk. This life is very small. What is 100 years compared to eternity? And by the time we pass, we come to 80, already our memories will start failing. So when you are young, don't waste the time. Get up and do. Be up and doing. So that is why, and no other unnecessary vain talks. Stop all the unnecessary talks and concentrate on the reality. And so Godspeed you. The rishis blessed us. We are on a big journey, great journey. We have embarked on this ocean called life, in this body called boat or ship, whatever you can. So we are to reach the other shores. So the blessings of the rishis are very important. If not, we may have a lot of tempest in the ocean of life, which will unsettle our minds and delay our journey. And within this span, you need to finish. Of course, we can do it after life. But what guarantee is there that we will have all these opportunities that we have got? How fortunate we are to be in this country like Australia, where we don't have any political oppression, free thought, free speech, free movement, and everybody is allowed to practice their faith. How free and happy. And if we do not take all this opportunity that the nature has given to us, then Mahati Vinashti, the Upanishad says, great is your loss. The Upanishad says, Mahati Vinashti. Don't waste the time and Godspeed you. So the rishis blessed us. Now in this mantra, the Upanishad is trying to give us the fruit of the knowledge. What is the fruit of the knowledge? And what's the nature of the truth? From the standpoint of truth, not from the standpoint of us. So the Upanishad is asking us to take notes, make a comparison, and that's the truth, and that's the target, and you attune your mind to that. So here, the mantra 7. I will read the Sanskrit. It's English is here. Yes, sarvagnya sarvavid yasyesha mahima bhuvi divye brahmapure yesha vyomanyatma pratishtitah manomaya prana sharira neta pratishtito anne hridayam sannidhaya Tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhira anandarupam amritam yad vibhati. He who knows all and understands all, and to whom belongs all the glory in the world. He, Atman, is placed in the space, in the effulgent abode of Brahman. He assumes the forms of the mind and leads the body and the senses. He dwells in the body, inside the heart, by the knowledge of that which shines as the blissful and immortal Atman. The wise behold him fully in all things. The mantra is a bit big. There are two things. Gna and vid are the two root words. Sarvagna, sarvavid. They mean both same. But why is it used? We had this mantra, this particular quarter of this mantra, we had it in the previous chapter also. Yes, sarvagna, sarvavid. Who knows all and understands all. The whole cosmos. The innumerable galaxies that are there in the cosmos, and they're functioning. Nothing is colliding with the other. How well our little planet is protected. So all this, who did this? To say, it's all natural. It's just there. That's no idea. How did it come? You may say it's a big bang was there, and then from there everything came. And that's only your way of interpretation. The science can tell us how of it, but religion says why of it. It's the field of the science to say how the things are going on. How is this happening? That too, with great difficulty, we have come at present. Still, it's all in hypothesis. Trial and error, still it's going on. But the rishis say, why? Swamiji says, I leave how to kids, children. I ask why of the things. Children means, he means the scientists, the so-called boasted scientists. But I want why of things. So the rishis have the why of things then. And science may tell us how of things, but it can never, because the process is different. The science is still trying to do it externally. Whatever. So there's a thing that say you can fold the space into a small box and keep, yet you will not be able to find out what Brahman is, because Brahman is never an object of explanation, but is always a subject of experience. Until and unless you experience, you cannot know. So this is the idea. So Sarvagna, so he knows all, means as the principle of intelligence, consciousness, the principle of intelligence is everywhere. Our conception of idea everywhere means space. He transcends space too. He permeates. Even the space is just, what do you call, within Brahman. Space is within Brahman. When Brahman is permeating even that, then just we can imagine what we are talking about. And you may say, how dare we talk about such a great, we puny creatures, how can we? Because it's a birthright, because that reality is within us. It is this which gives us the strength and the boldness to attain, however difficult it may be. If it was easy, it's not worth attaining. It's not worth seeking. You go by hook or crook, we can earn dollars, but not with truth. It's hard. 1,000 lives. Swamiji says, 1,000 times you may fall. Get up, walk again. Have an ideal. If a person with an ideal does 1,000 mistakes, I'm sure a person without an ideal will do 50,000. So it's better to have an ideal. We utterly fail. Every moment of our life fail. We fail, but we get up. Again, come back. No. The body and mind is dragging. No, I come back and be a witness. Practice. 1,000 falls. Doesn't matter. Get up again. Walk. This is what is the ideal. And this cosmic intelligence is what here say as Sarvagnya, Sarvavit. He's in every atom he is. Because when he's permeating everything, every atom he is in. And look at the function, how an atom functions, how the cosmos functions. It's all microcosm and microcosm are one, are in the same plane, they're working. And he knows every heart, every thought in every human body, in every creature, from the ant to Prajapati, the Hiranyagarbha, everything. So, Sarvagna Sarvavit. And what this whole universe is his glory. He manifests itself as this beautiful universe. This universe is his beauty, its law, its power, its beauty, everything is derived from there. And where does he live? Divya, in the effulgent region. This heart is called as Brahmapuri, the city of Brahman. Even in the Katha Upanishad, we read it. Where here he is there. So this is the place. Sri Ramakrishna says heart is the place. Heart is the place where you have to knock. So lotus of the heart. Here, it's for to facilitate the meditation. They are asking us to meditate on the space of the heart. The Manomaya, Prana Sharira Neta, Manomaya. When this infinite Atman is conditioned by this body, mind, intellect, then he becomes, when he's conditioned by mind, he becomes Manomaya. So it's like a precious something we don't throw here and there. Precious things are kept safely. So you have got a sheath, just like a sword, a golden sword. You just don't keep it anywhere. So you put it in a cover, kosha, sheath. And like that, the blissful, effulgent Atman is covered in this buddhi, hridayam. So, and through the mind, he directs the body. So through the buddhi, mind, prana, see, we know Annamaya kosha, you have learned the 5 koshas, isn't it? In the Vedanta, the sheath of food, body. Body is a sheath, physical sheath. And then inside is vital sheath, prana, see? And then comes mind, mana. And then buddhi, vijnana. So here he is saying, Manomaya, prana, sharira, neta. He guides, he directs. So when the gross body falls, he guides the subtle body. The Atman guides it. Even in this, when we are there in the body, so through the mind and intellect and the prana, it functions through the senses. This way it's coming, and then the body is. Have you seen the puppet show? In the puppet show, we pull the string. When we pull the string, then the toy, with hands and leg, everything, head, everything is shaking. But somebody is pulling it behind. So that pulling is the self. It directs. And then, and the same, when it doesn't, the person doesn't have capacity to get up. Somebody has to lift him. 4 of them have to come and take him and go. So just to imagine the ever-present reality we ignore. By ignoring the ever-present reality, we may do a spiritual suicide. Atmahana. How? The Upanishad says, Nitya Vartamanasya Atmanam Tiraskaranat. You ignore the ever-present reality. Thereby you commit a spiritual suicide. So the Upanishad is telling, never, it is here. And how do you get it? Vijnana. Tad vijnanena. Paripashyanti dhiraha. The wise. How? Through vijnana. Vishesha rupa. Special knowledge. But to get a special knowledge, how do you do? Through the teachers' teachings and the scripture. So constantly studying the scripture and following the teachings of the teacher, we create a pure body, pure mind is created. And that pure body, that pure mind can give us. And he is centered in this. Pratishtita, he is fixed there. And he's directing how. Sri Ramakrishna is a beautiful example. We know the landlord can go anywhere in his estate. He goes round everywhere. But he sits in his drawing room. From there, he can give direct. He doesn't have to even go. If he doesn't, he can sit and give orders. Do this, do that. That is something has gone wrong. Yeah, but he fixes things just sitting. So now you have this remote control and you can see what people are doing. You have got the camera, everything, in which corner, who is doing, all sitting in one place. So just like that, sitting here in the heart, he's directing from top to bottom. He pervades also. But for the sake of meditation, they are asking us to fix it in the heart. And then Vijnana, through perfect knowledge, knowledge obtained through scriptures and the teachers. And practicing the spiritual disciplines. And according to Vedanta, the four sadhanas are there. What is that? You must be knowing discernment, detachment, self-control, and intense desire for knowledge or liberation. These are Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama, and Mumukshutva. These are the four, just four. With this four techniques, you can reach the reality. And even in Gita, Sri Krishna says in the 13th chapter, he enumerates 20. We do not get frightened about the list. At least one or two, if we follow and get established in it, the other things automatically will come. If Sri Ramakrishna says what is needed is earnestness, intense desire. If this intense desire to get out of the bondage, first thing is I need to feel the bondage. I need to feel. If I'm happy going around, there's no question of any spiritual discipline or all the struggles at all. Until and unless I feel my bondage, until and unless I feel I'm bound, there is no sadhana or nothing. Nothing. Spirituality means nothing. It's just a comfortable, just to comfort us. That's all. It won't do. Until and unless we feel the bondage. And how do we feel the bondage? Until and we compare something which is free. There is something which is free, which is always telling me, I want to get out of this bondage. I want to get out. That sense of, even in a rudimentary form, we need to feel the freedom. And that will make us restless for it. Then we feel the bondage. And once we truly feel the bondage, who wants to be in bondage? Who wants to be in the prison? Everybody wants freedom. So we will work for it. We say, oh, I can't, I don't have time, and this one, that. It is all lip. It's nothing. There is neither aspiration, nor there is any need. Just, still we feel that we must have something, religion. So we go for it. That's all. But Vedanta is asking us to be serious. So Krishna enumerates 20. We needn't have to get frightened about it. A couple of them I will tell. Humility, non-injury, forbearance, uprightness, service to the teacher, purity, steadfastness in one's spirituality, self-control, absence of egoism. Any couple of things we take and put it into practice, everything, the other thing will follow behind. So the 8th, Bhidyate hridaya granti, chidyante sarva samshayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani, tasmin drishte paravare. The fetters of the heart are broken, all doubts are resolved, and all works cease to bear fruit when he is beheld, who is both high and low. Fetters. First of all, as I told you, one need to feel the fetters. If you are happy with a golden chain is also a bondage. Swamiji says, whether iron or gold, bondage is bondage. Whether you are caressed or whipped, you are a slave. Nature gives us ginger bread. Ah, how nice. God is so karunamaya. Everything is going on well. God is so grace. So his grace and his glory, his compassion are, when we are good, everything is going smooth with us. Something goes wrong. Why did this happen to me? So that is our steadfastness to truth or work. So these are the fetters, are the kamanas, the desires that are clinging to the heart. This very will, our mind, our buddhi, when it is freed from these drives, it will become so potent. It will become so powerful, like a laser beam. It can just cut the name and form. It can crack and see the reality which is behind. So to that extent, that power of a laser beam has, that power should be there in our intellect. Intellect to cut the name and form and the superficial personality, what I'm seeing. Behind that is the ever-present, ever-glorious, ever-pure, ever-blissful Atman is there. Just we forget. Early morning, we make a resolution of thinking of it. Within a couple of hours, forget everything. Instead of encountering the divine, we encounter demon. What has happened? The demon has not come there. The demon of ego has entered here, and it sees the demon there. So this intellect, this heart has to be constantly reminded. It has to be purified to the remembrance. That's Swamiji again says, 1,000 times fall, doesn't matter. Get up again, assert yourself, assert your divine nature. In the day, at least once, assert it. Attune your mind to infinity. That's the morality, Swamiji says. What is morality? Attuning one's mind and intellect to infinity is morality, according to Swamiji. So the fetters of the heart is then gone. Everything. You know, some people, some jugglers or whatever it is, I don't know what exactly it's called as, they make a lot of knots are there. And you and I try, can't. We pull this way, the knot becomes more. And you pull the other side, the knot becomes all the more strong. But the person who has put the knot in, he just everything is gone. So when the Atman is realized, all the knots will break. And clear vision is clear. And all doubts. Till then, doubts will aside. We have no doubt about the world because our senses show us. But whereas the Atman, the reality is behind all that. So we have no access to it. If we cannot know the Atman, like how I know this table, how I know this chair, it's not like that. So that is why the doubt always comes. And kshiyante chasya karmani, all the karmas. Here the scripture says all the karmas are cleared or erased, but it actually doesn't happen. The karmas are of 3 types. One is sanchita karma. We have acquired many manifestations, many mansions we have built, and we have done many things. All those are packed and kept. Bags and bags of karmas are behind. And those karmas which are ready for fruition, they come in one manifestation. That is called as prarabdha. You may ask, it is in one bag, how can it come from another bag? Wait, the best computer, the Antaratman, Karma Faladata, who gives the results of action, he is inside. His computer is very correct. Nothing will go wrong. I do something, somebody else will get, no. Straight it will come. However difficult karmana gatihi, the karma's way, however difficult it might be, but it will come. So everything, those karmas which are ready for fruition will come, and that is the prarabdha karma. I'm going to start this manifestation, this body, I'm going to start with a package of karma. I select by my parents and I enter, and from the selection onwards, the selection is there. I have got something, a score with you, so I will be born. So it's like that. So the fruition of karma will start bring to start particular womb, to particular parent. So there itself it has started. And then I enter. And you know, in the womb itself, a child can have problem. Karma has started working there itself. So the prarabdha karma, we are arabdha, means we are starting it. That's the package. And then when we start working out, because we do not have the knowledge of Atman, so we are doers. I do this, I gain this result. So what happened? Action and reaction is going on. So I'm making a new karmas, which will kriyamana means which I'm creating it now. I'm making them. And that will be agami, next for future births, any births. I don't know how far it will take. Apurva, it will come later on. It takes time to fruitify. At that time, it will come. But I'm creating all at present, whatever I'm doing, that's reaction of that action is the future. So when I get the knowledge of Brahman or the Atman, all the past karmas are burnt. And the future, what is going to come is also, because when I realize the Atman, what do I know? I am not the doer. I am the all-pervading, actionless self. When I am actionless self, when there is no ego, where is the ego to receive the fruits of action? There is no ego to take the results of the action. So the action goes back to cosmic. So I don't have the future. But what I have started, I have to do it. There's no, that they gave a beautiful example. Many of you must be knowing. Supposing a hunter goes for hunting and takes an arrow, sees a target, an animal, and shoots it. And the target goes and reaches it. Now, supposing he takes the arrow and what a bad thing it is to take the life of. So his sense of compassion comes. What he does, he puts back. And there are lots of arrows behind. And he says, off with this hunting, no more. I'm going to practice ahimsa. I'm not going to kill anymore. So he throws off. He throws the whole lot of arrows. So all the arrows that are in his basket, whatever they call, that is sanchita. And what was in his hand is he wanted to throw agami. He could have thrown it. So he put, that is agami. But whereas what he has already thrown, you can get back the life. You have done it, finished. You cannot get back. What is done is done. So that is prarabdha. So when I get the knowledge of Brahman, all my accumulated karmas get burnt. My future karma doesn't come to me because I don't have the ego. I have become all-pervading principle. I am no more Sridharaprana, endowed with this body-mind complex. So there is no one to receive the... So the karma also goes back. So but what? As Sridharaprana, I have come into existence. Till I die, I have that momentum of the karma. Though I get the knowledge of Brahman, whatever is there, the momentum, as long as the momentum stays, it goes on cutting. You see, when you cut an animal, it's dead, but still the limbs shake. I have seen in the Kali temple and all, when they do this sacrifice, they cut the goat. I've seen it. The legs will be shaking for quite a few minutes. And then slowly, as long as the prana, the momentum is there, it's dead. But then it will be shaking, and then slowly it stops off. So as long as the momentum is there, this karma will. But the knower of Brahman knows it will not affect him. And he accepts whatever has happened to his body and mind as he's indifferent. He is detached. So it will not pain him as it pains an ordinary person. Maybe he may have a very bad, like Sri Ramakrishna went through, but it's not his prarabdha. It is not his prarabdha. He has never come because of his karma. He is a liberated soul coming just for our sake, but he took the karmas of people. So happily they go through, or silently they go through. So all the karmas will be cleared. And when a person realizes that which is high and low, the high and low can be explained as cause or effect, or good, bad, ignorant, knowledgeable, whatever it is. In everyone he has the same sightedness. Tasmin drishte paravare. 9th. Hiranmaye pare koshe virajam brahma nishkalam tashubhram jyotisham jyotistad yadatma vido viduhu. Hiranmaye pare koshe. Virajam, the stainless. So there the stainless and indivisible Brahman shines in the highest golden sheath. As I told you, it's the golden sheath Vijnanamaya. It is pure. It is the light of the light. It is that which they know who know the self. The man of realization, the person of realization will understand, will know this Atman as, where does he know it? How does he perceive it? In the Hiranmaya, in the golden sheath. Why golden sheath? The body is gross. The mind also has a lot of impurities, but the buddhi is very close to Brahman. The body, the senses, the vital life principle, the mind, everything is away from the Atman. But Atman, next comes the buddhi, Nedishta Brahma, very close to Brahman. So the light of Brahman is very clearly perceived in the intellect. But all this happens only with the purification. Sri Ramakrishna said, Shuddha Buddhi, Shuddha Mon, Shuddha Atma, one and the same. The mind is purified. The Buddhi is Atman oriented, and the self is there. What happens? Just the light is flooding. It's just flooding. Look at the beautiful picture. How the light is coming from the heart, the guha. It's coming. So that is why it says sheath, golden sheath, because it's effulgent. It's very close to the self. The very next stage is the intellect from the Atman. So stainless, unalloyed, pure consciousness, free from ignorance and its effect. Ignorance is what? Ignorance of one's true nature. And what's the effect of ignorance? Is multiplication of the universe, multiplicity of this diversity. Then comes the differentiation. I am you, I am different, you are different. Then all competition starts. So it leads to the all mischief. The ignorance is the mother of all suffering, grief, mischief, everything. So that is removed. Swamiji always used to say, you don't have to become pure. You are pure already. You're not to become free. You're free already. If you were not pure, you would never become pure. If you are not free, you will never be free. There is your bondage, there is your freedom. You feel your bondage, you feel your limitation, you feel your ignorance. At the same time, you know that you are free, you are all-knowing, Sarvagnya, and you are eternal. So which do you want to assert? Do you assert your weakness or your positive nature? Which do we assert? Though we might not be feeling it, it may not be obvious to us that I am the eternal being, I am the pure, but the very idea ennobles, isn't it? It's uplifting, it's elevating. So why not I assert it? Doesn't matter. Every moment when I assert Atman, my mind says, where are you, infinite? Where are you, all pervading? You're here. You cannot go from here to Tapovan. Somebody has to take you. Isn't it? That's true. But should I deny my existence because of that? 1,000 times I will assert. So assert it, Swamiji says. Assert it. Don't refuse. Don't ignore your divinity. That's what Swamiji says. You are not to be pure. You are already pure. Recognize it and assert it. Nishkalam. It's not that a bit of knowledge is going to come, a bit of power is going to come, a bit of bliss is going to. Indivisible. See? Stainless, pure, and indivisible. The whole lot. See, there is no parts in infinite. Just because of our inability to grasp the infinity, we say we are parts of the divine. A part of the divine is in me, part of the divine is in her. Because our mind and intellect doesn't have the capacity to grasp. So we say, but is there any division in the infinity? Is there any part in infinity? Infinity is infinity. Touch any corner of it, it's infinity. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you want to go and have Ganga Sparsh, people have they go and touch the Ganga, holy water. So if you want to touch Ganga, do you mean to say you have to go from Gomukh to Ganga Sagar, from where it is flowing into the end, where it culminates? Are you to go and touch everything? No, touch any part, and wherever it is. In Calcutta, it is there. It is in UP. To touch anywhere, you are touching the Ganges. So infinite is everywhere, indivisible. So you get the whole lot of it. You may be realizing the divinity within you, but infinite is your existence, infinite is your bliss, and infinite is your knowledge. So indivisible. Virajam, Brahma, Nishkalam. Nishkalam means undivided. It seems to be divided. It seems to be he is divided. So we are so many people are sitting, we all are in pieces of Atman. No. As Atman, it is always indivisible. And the Shubhram, pure, light of all lights. We sing in Sri Ramakrishna's bhajan, Jyoti Rajoti, Ujala Hridi Kandara. You are the light of all lights. Brighten my heart. So, thus do the knower of Brahman understand that this Atman is bright. Bright means what? It illumines all the states of my mind. Outside world, it does. We may think that sun is illumining. No, sun is only a receptacle. So, from the outside world is illumined by the Atman, and the inner world is also illumined. Look, have you ever seen any dream is full of dark? No, our dream life is bright, isn't it? We see when we dream, it's all light. How? The light within Taijasa, the self, the dreaming self is called Taijasa, Tejas, brightness, because the self is always bright. So no dream is ever dark. 10th. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. The sun does not shine there, nor the moon and the stars, nor these lightnings, not to speak of this fire. When he shines, everything shines after him. By his light, everything is lighted. We take a torch. The torch is burning. There is a light, it's burning. It's not that light. The light the fire is gone, or the electricity has gone in it, and then it's illumining. So we may say the sun is bright, sun is illumining the whole universe. After all, what? Sun is helium, hydrogen. So what happens? One day or the other day, when everything is finished, worked out, burnt, what has happened? Sun dies. So he had a birth, he has a death. So how can you say that it is self-effulgent? Its effulgence depends on something else. Because if it would have been eternally, it would have been burning. There never would have been a time when the sun won't die. But we know sun will die one day. That itself shows that it is not something eternal. It is not self-effulgent. The light of the Atman is the only light which illumines even the sun, the moon. That is why they say the sun and the moon and the stars and the home fire, none can illuminate. When that illumines, everything gets illuminated. In its illumination, in its light, everything is illuminated. It's a very poetical way of expressing that. And I saw many of them are happy with the poetry. Much light has not been given. Anyway, that means 11th. Brahmaivedamamritam purastad brahma paschad brahma dakshinashchottarena adhaschurdham cha prasritam brahmaivedam vishwamidam varishtam. That immortal Brahman alone is before, that Brahman is behind, that Brahman is to the right, to the left. Brahman alone pervades everything above and below. This universe is that supreme Brahman alone. Idam, this one. We say Purnam idam, Purnamada. That, this means the Upanishad is just telling this universe, that which you are pervading, right? Means through all my senses, my eyes are seeing, my ears are hearing, my nose is smelling, my tongue is tasting, my skin is feeling. All that which you grasp through your senses are nothing but Brahman, whether you know it or not. Truth doesn't care. Swamiji said, truth does not pay homage to society, past or present. The society has to pay homage to truth or die. So whether you understand or whether I understand, it's nothing. Truth is truth. It has always been there. In Karnataka, we have a beautiful falls, It's called Joke Falls. Big fall, so much of water going. It has been wasting and wasting and wasting. Suddenly one of the great engineer in 18th century, he was the divan of the king. He said, what a waste, what a waste. How much of hydroelectricity would have been produced? From time immemorial, the water is flowing and flowing and flowing. So like that, this truth is always there. Only we didn't tap into it. We are very happy in our creatureliness. And the Upanishad wants us to get out of this creatureliness. Don't be bound to this organism. We have better. Infinite knowledge, infinite bliss is there. Why do you go with your begging bowl to the senses? A little bit, oh, how nice to go and see. Why do we go out? Eyes are thirsty, want joy. So we go and see. We want soothing words to be heard. Beggars of ears, sound. Beggars of taste. Instead of doing, Sri Ramakrishna says, sadhu can sit and meditate. No, just for bhiksha he can go straight away. Highway he can go and reach. No, he goes because he can go get the begging from the villages. Why? Because the tongue is there, stomach is there. So the beggars of all this indriyas, senses, a little joy coming from the touch, a little joy coming from the smell, a little joy coming from the taste. So always this beggary, this creatureliness, the Upanishads wants us to become the masters. That is why they are stressing so much. They're trying their best to put these ideas into us. So this world, what you are saying, is nothing but pure consciousness. It's nothing but pure consciousness. The universe of name and form, that which is outside, and all the individual Atman and my own body, mind, senses are also nothing but Brahman. Both the subject and object are one and the same reality. And how to perceive this? The Shruti vividly gives us the truth. That's the fruit of knowledge. By mentioning that Brahman is front, at the back and the sides. Why? Is the Brahman scattered like berries? No, it's not like. Drawing your attention to see what you experience, what you see, are nothing but the expression of Brahman. When I see something, I am only seeing Brahman. Every time I'm misunderstanding. Some of our brahmacharinis had gone to Swami Nirvanananda Maharaj. He was the vice president of Belur Math in 70s. We used to call him Surja Maharaj. So one day the brahmacharinis were having a good discussion. And then afterwards they asked the Swami's opinion. What do you say, Maharaj? What is it? Then he said, with a smile, Brahman misunderstood is the world. So every time you're having a wrong perception, once your perception becomes clear, no more you will see the world. So that is why the Upanishad is mentioning. So when I'm trying to bring my thought to it, Brahman is right in front of you. He's behind you. He's to the right, to the left, to the below. Just like we are suspended in this infinite pure consciousness, which is an intelligent principle, which is of the nature of bliss. It is not something deathless. You know, when you see those galaxies, look so beautiful, but lifeless. Nothing there. From here, it looks so beautiful when we see those galaxies in the pictures, how wonderful they are. But what? Lifeless. All life, all beauty, all joy is only in this little planet. So, but Brahman is not like that. It's not like a dead galaxy, looking beautiful, but nothing. No. It is all bliss, amritam, joy. So the Shruti is trying in various ways to convey us all that we see, all that we experience. They all come within this purview of this truth. So the world is existent in the existence of Brahman. Apart from Brahman, the world has no existence at all. The very fact you are seeing the world is nothing but you are seeing Brahman. The world is the effect of Brahman. So not even a single atom cannot exist apart from Brahman. That is why the Upanishads emphatically proclaims, Neha nasti kinchanan. There is nothing whatsoever diversity. The meaning of this statement is that there is no diversity at all, whatever. That everything is connected with Brahman. It means that this very world is nothing but Brahman. It doesn't have any separate existence apart from Brahman. Whatever diversity we see, experience, are the outcome of our ignorance. What we know as the world, in its essence, is nothing but Brahman. Yoyam sthanuhu umanesha. The scriptures, they show a log of wood. Look, this log of wood that you see, it is not just log of wood. It seems to be. It's not what it seems to be. It is that pure Purusha. The Rishi is showing a log of wood because they are in the forest. Showing a log of wood to the disciple. He said, just, you see this log of wood? Immovable, dead matter? It is not what it seems. It is pure consciousness, energy condensified as matter. Even to say energy is also, we come down very much from the truth. It is pure consciousness. That is why Sri Ramakrishna would see the altar, the floor, the wood, the windows, everything as consciousness when he saw. When the mother revealed her infinite nature. Everything was pure consciousness. The food which is offering, and the cat entered. In India, there are cats and birds, everything entered into home. So he did, oh, mother, you are here, have this. And he gave her the food offering. So tangibly, it's the whole, everything is consciousness. That is why the Upanishad is trying to make you as clear as possible. It's trying to, because something which cannot be explained is the Upanishads are trying to explain. So we see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, so many times he would try to explain this, and he would say how the experiences are. When as his mind is to go to higher regions, he would lose his individuality. The individual mind, individual buddhi would melt away. It just gets dissolved in the infinity. And then he is gone in samadhi. And then he had this cancer, it would hurt him. And then, poor thing, then he would say, look, he would come back, because he just, from one to many, he would go every moment of his time, could be from formless to form, to the one to form, many. He used to just go. So the disciple would say, oh, sir, why did you go to explain? Then he would say, look, I try my best. I want to help you. I want to tell you. But then the Divine Mother doesn't allow me to tell. And they would think, very naughty this Divine Mother is. But actually, Sri Ramakrishna was trying to do impossible possible. Out of his love and compassion for his disciples, he was trying to undo or do something which cannot be done. So the Divine Mother would say, come on, stop now. You cannot tell this secret. Because it is everyone's experience. Brahman or Atman is not an object of explanation. It is a subject of experience. Once when we experience, then all doubts are cleared. Once you eat a chili, you understand how the chili is hot. When somebody comes and tell you, no, chilies are very sweet. Let them tell anything. You know chilies are hot. Experiential certainty. And even people may say, there's nothing such a thing of God. Doesn't matter. You don't go to argue. You become still. You're so full, you don't want to waste time with the fools. You just be. You become quiet, silent. So that's why he says, showing that this log of wood is the pure consciousness. It's not what it seems to be. So the moment you have this knowledge of the Purusha, the log of wood vanishes. As in the case of the rope and snake. The rope and snake are not mixed. There is no snake at all. And even the head and the tail and whatever you see is nothing but the rope. So there is nothing such a thing called as world. There is nothing such a thing called as world. The terrorists, the terrorized, and the we people who say there is nothing. One Brahman. But from where? From which standpoint? From the standpoint of the Brahman. Swamiji said, he wrote to his disciple Mary Hell. He said, it is not that all are God. God is, all are not. It's not that all are God. God is, all are not. There can never be two things. It's always Advaita. You perceive reality, there is no unreality called world. You perceive world, unreality, there's no reality for you. We are always Advaitist. Either we see reality or unreality. We don't see reality and unreality together. We don't see this rope and say, no, little bit of snake's tail I saw. Do we do that? No, we never do it. When we see the rope, we see the rope. The snake has vanished. But if you think that you have seen a tail, little bit of tail or the tongue of the snake, that means you have not seen the rope. You still, the idea of snake is there. So when I perceive the reality, I don't perceive the diversity at all. But when I'm conscious of diversity, there can never be. But once if I have perceived, the memory lingers, then that makes our life beautiful, sweet. I think with this I can stop.
So there's some time for questions, answers, discussion. I might get it going, Nathaji. Now, I mean, two things strike me with these verses today. One is that these sages were poets. It's very beautiful poetic language they're using when they're describing Brahman and the experiences they had. But the other thing, it's reminding us again what a gulf there is between what they're describing, what they have experienced, and what we have experienced. Very big gulf. Maybe some of us have had a little inkling or glimpse, and I wonder, even when we try to sit formally for meditation, we don't usually get anywhere near anything like what they're describing. And I wonder then how sometimes in some ways we can try and bridge that gap a little bit. And then I'm imagining, say, going out into nature, that can be quite a powerful experience, into a wilderness. I mean, apart from formal meditation, how to get a little bit closer to these very deep mystical states that they are describing.
Yeah, it may be true that there may be a gulf, but in reality, there is no gulf. The gulf is, we perceive the gulf, we feel the gulf because our identity is still with the body, mind, intellect, or world, or whatever it is. Why not we turn it? And okay, our body, mind, senses, intellect, world, duality, personality, what do you call this? What do you call when it happens? Jerking. Two trees when they friction, that's the word. Thank you. The friction, all the personality frictions is a very big thing. Even in monastic communities, we have all this. So when that happens, first our reaction is we blast. But the next thought is you come back to your composure. So this is how we learn. With whom was I fighting? I was fighting with my own image, my reflection. I was yelling at my own reflection. Because there is nothing. If I am the reality, the whole world is but my reflection. A certain person had a dog. He never took the dog to his dressing room. It had never gone there. It would go everywhere. But one day he had gone out, or somehow the dog sneaked into the room. There he saw the big dressing mirror and he started barking and barking and barking. Who is this fellow who has come? Barking and barking and barking so much. Maybe the person didn't come that night or whatever it is. Next day, the dog was found dead. Then the man said, if only had you to know that it was your own reflection, you wouldn't have been. Now, if I know that whatever I see around me is just my reflection, how beautiful it would be. Then I would not have any, I can play with my reflection or I can give a smack. So it depends upon me. But to know that it is a reflection, this is called a sadhana. 100 times I may forget, it's my reflection, the whole universe is not. Let me take on a higher stand. And then only I can say this whole world is a reflection. Now suddenly if a terrorist comes and shooting at us, I can never say that it's my reflection which is shooting. Yes, that difference is there. But that will come, that fear will go away, that identity will come as a in course of our sadhana, provided I am very, very, very sincere to it, to my sadhanas. So this is how I have to train myself. There is nothing else. There is no help from outside. At the most, the guru, the teacher, they can just point out to you. Nobody is carrying you on the wings and going. No. You carry the child. If the child doesn't want to walk after 5 years, 10 years, do you mean to say that you will carry the child all the way, all its life? And people would laugh. So we have to strengthen our wings through discernment and detachment. And above all of this, sincerity, which Sri Ramakrishna calls vyakulata, earnestness. If that is there, we are bound to reach. We need not always feel, oh, feel the gulf. The gulf will be reduced. It will be. I don't deny the gulf. There is the differences there. There is a lot of differences there between their experience and our experience. But it needn't have to be always. We do all with all the energy and intelligence or the opportunities, the time that are at our disposal to this one. This is called as, in Bengali, I do not know, because I don't read gospel, the great master in English. I always reading in Bengali. Moner ekatanata, the one-pointedness of the mind. It's like the compass, always towards the north. So whatever might be the experiences, come back to that. Then it will, if not, no wilderness will take you. If that is not, if I have not inculcated that in me, the wilderness will be of very little use. That is why we go to Himalayas, because Himalaya, than the ocean has association with swimmers, beaches, but whereas the mountain has association of the saints and sadhus meditating, the vibration is entirely different. Even the ocean remains infinite, and the mountains also, but mountains are more powerful. Mountain region. And I tell you, Himalayas are really. I have not seen anyone who has come back same person after going to the Himalayas. Some change will be there. If that is not there, then they have to start from the stone and brick. Sri Ramakrishna said, we're two below in the range of evolution, I can say. Himalaya makes it. So we try to learn. We try to. This is called a sadhana. We have to, step by step, small steps we'll take. But if you remember, this is the only opportunity for us to go. Now, only I'm saying why I'm saying only. It's not we can, again, we may get many more bodies. I don't deny. But do we get all these things which we have? No. Supposing you go to some countries where there are dictators, what will you do? We know how life becomes miserable when we see the migrants coming in the ocean, in the boats. Why? Life is precious. They want a life. So when having got all this opportunity, still we don't use it, then mahati vinashti. Great is our loss. I'm not telling for all this for you people, for me only. Great will be my loss. Having already got all this, my gain is more. The Lord has given me more than you people. So I always tell, it is my audible thinking, and I'm thinking loudly, sorry. Yeah? So it's not for you people, I'm saying it for myself. Yes, any question?
Mataji, I don't quite understand why you say all the galaxies distant out there are dead. Well, I'm just thinking that if everything is energy in one form or another, whether it's matter, which is energy constrained or not, then they're not really dead. The energy is just there. Well, I do perceive some of that energy because I see the light. That's energy. But I'd just say that the entire universe is alive. Everything's energy, so it's all alive. Yeah, that explains. Yeah.
As well, what the word practical is all only within this universe, and our planet may have some influence the other galaxies or whatever it is may have some influence on us. But as far as an individual like I and you are concerned, we gain nothing. Nothing is, even if there is energy, what does that do to me? But I tell you, as long as I perceive within me the energy, that energy better use than energy, I prefer to use consciousness, because energy is still below. To say that it is energy, I have to come down. Only then energy is also manifestation. But consciousness is pervasive and is indivisible. It's infinite. So that what I meant was, even there, the intelligent principle is there. That is why it is shining. If that intelligent principle consciousness was not there, even you would not have the perception of the galaxy. The very fact you perceive the galaxies is that there is a reality even behind it. There is the reality behind. That is why its manifestation is there, and that you and I are feeling it. If that reality is not there, there can be no objective world at all. There can never be any objective world around if there is no reality. So everything depends on that. Even those galaxies, if we are able to perceive it, that shows it is the same Brahman misunderstood as galaxy. As how the Swami said, the Brahman misunderstood is the world. So it's just like that. I'm not depreciating those galaxies or anything. What I mean is that one infinite, indivisible consciousness of the nature of pure intelligence pervades even in that dead and dull galaxy. That's what I meant. That's all. That's the only way we can explain the vastness of something very subjective. You cannot explain. Once you realize within the space of your heart, infinite space, you can understand. And that gives us the right to realize. Somebody asked me, oh, big thing, words. Is it ever possible for us to understand? I said, no, it is not that. It may be big words and it's very tough, but that doesn't mean to say that it's not possible for me to understand, because the truth is in me. It is that truth which is making me to seek. What is it that is asking me to seek? What is that which is impelling me to search for it? It's the one reality within me. If that was not there, I would have been nothing. I wouldn't be here at all. My manifestation wouldn't be at all. I would be zero. The fact I am there is the reality is behind me. And that is my strength. Whatever may be, however far the gulf may be, I'm never apart from the truth. If we can assert this portion, this particular aspect, that I'm never divorced from it. I'm always in it. I'm always surrounded by the reality. Then immense joy I'll get. I'll get all the strength. Yeah.
So Mataji, if I understand it correctly, like it's the effulgence within. So what we can equate that effulgence, say for example, if I'm in a Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, I just feel light within, around, and I connect. So that kind of happiness, that kind of effulgence, like a more spiritual than like a physical, like relating myself to, wow, what galaxy. And like you said, it's not doing anything for me. Yes, it's bright. But when you feel that Atman being somewhere or serving a society, it's that inner effulgence, that inner light that you connect with. Is that what it is?
Too many things are involved in this question. What I'm saying, when you go to Vishwanath, what happens is, for the time being, the mind is concentrated on a particular, on the divine. At that time, none of your other things are troubling you. See, that little moment, that bit of freedom from all the other ideas or thoughts or desires or whatever it is bringing out the joy. Supposing if I am free from all that, how much more it would be. For the time being, everything is brushed aside. All other thoughts, nothing, no other thoughts. Just, I want to have the nearness, feel the oneness with Shiva, meant to be in his presence. So that is bringing the joy. That is removing all the obstacles for the time being from your consciousness. That is why you feel that sense of brightness or the joy. But if we can work on ourselves and pull out all the weeds of desires, infinite will be your joy. Infinite. Only then you will be able to do true service to your community and all that. It's not that people, all the people who are doing big things, not that they have become Brahmarishis and doing it. Even a touch of it. Somewhere when you see a person can outgrow his finite self and can think in terms of community, little bit of that light or joy, or he has expanded, he has evolved. If not, it cannot happen. It can never happen. See, even a little child, born child, give anything, it takes it to itself. It's first me. So when that person can liberate himself from himself, then he's becoming infinite. So even to do all the services to the community and all that, somewhere that spiritual energy has come out. There is an evolution. Whether people may attribute to it or not, doesn't matter. There is a growth. If I can think of others first than myself, then I have improved a lot.
Pranam Mataji. I would like to ask you, this whole of Upanishads is talking about Brahman. I mean, all others also, Isha and Kata and all that. Now, the thing is, in this Upanishad, you talk about two birds, one is the lower bird. So the lower bird is actually Jiva Atma, and upper bird is Paramatma. Okay. This actually, they're both individual, isn't it? And they're both individual. And how is Brahman connected to Jiva Atma and Paramatma?
Yeah. The individualized selves, individual selves of you are Kannan, the self which has taken the form of Kannan with this mind. He is this, you have got your education, your qualification, all this identity is there. The moment I say Kannan has lots of things. So all your biodata comes. All this in together is Kannan. But Kannan himself is pure consciousness. Isn't it so? Isn't it so? The intelligence behind your buddhi is the Atman. Your existence is depending on Brahman. You are spirit first, then your body, mind, intellect second. Because you do not have the knowledge of your true self, you are identifying yourself, I'm so and so and so and so and so. And so is not. The one who is representing the source, that is what is meant by Jivan. So the example what the Upanishad says, the higher bird and the lower bird, that is what I'm saying in English. The individualized self and the over self, some totality of the self is Paramatman. Param means supreme. So not just all those who are sitting here, he's not just the self of all. The self of the whole universe, the whole galaxies, whole cosmos, from the matter to the highest self-conscious entity, whatever it is. Everything is included in me. It's all pervasive, immense reality, which the Upanishad describes. Upanishad's purpose is only to make us know that you are not the little creature, which helpless under the force of the circumstances. No, you are not. So this is what Swamiji says, all power is within you, all knowledge is within you, assert yourself. You can do anything and everything. All power is within you. What does Swamiji says? Self-confidence. What does it mean? Self-confidence. Willpower. All this, it's the Atman. When the will is freed from all the desire, it becomes powerful. Until then, that will, however you might say, willpower, that willpower will be always driven by the drives. The moment the will is freed from the drives, from all the, it becomes powerful. That's what I was telling you, like a laser beam. Your mind and your intellect so becomes powerful. Nothing will obstruct you from the reality. And you see, you are the reality. So in a minute, you can have infinity in your palm. In one glance, you can become, in 1 second, you can become all-knowing. In 1 second, the whole bliss, infinite bliss can be yours. If you negate this mind, the moment you deny the mind, the moment you get rid of the mind becomes pure. What is after all mind? It's nothing but a bundle of thoughts. What do we do in meditation? Why are we asked to meditate? Why are we asked to control our mind? Controlling the mind means what? Controlling the thoughts. Why are we to control the thoughts? Reducing it. Reduce the thought. How do we purify? Holding on to a purifying agent, that is God. The more you think of yourself as a spirit, pure, infinite, eternal, blissful, the more you become pure. That means you are going away from all this body, mind, intellect, and your mind is going closer to the self. When we say Atma Buddhi Prakasham, Atma Buddhi means turning the mind, the Buddhi, towards the Atman. Now the Buddhi is outside. It is seeing the whole universe. Through this Buddhi, we perceive the distant galaxies, isn't it? Through the intellect. We have been introduced, discovered or invented the lenses, isn't it? Somebody else didn't do. The human beings, we only did it. It's our intellect, our science, our technology has brought out all this powerful lens, all these spacecrafts, which can bring us the information and about those. It's human intelligence only, isn't it? So that is always going out. But the moment you turn the understanding within, you realize your true nature, the self, which is infinite, far infinite than the galaxies and this cosmos. And you become Sarvagnya, Sarvabit, all-knowing. You know everything, you understand everything. You too will become. But as far as you said, what is the connection? There is no actually connection. As long as you are aware of your individuality, you are seeking the connection. You are seeking, actually there is no individual. There is only one. There is always only one. So the connectedness, connectiveness, to feel that divine is there, divine in this, everything. It is only the way the scriptures try to explain that which cannot be explained. From the standpoint of Paramatman, there is no bird at all. There's no lower bird at all. It was the foolishness of the lower bird thing that it was there. The moment it rose to higher heights, it's a goodness. There is no other bird. There is no bondage at all. And I was trying to liberate myself. That's ultimate. It's the ultimate analysis. But as sadhakas, first thing is be aware of your bondage. And only when if we are aware of your bondage, you will try to work towards it. And desire for freedom, feeling of bondage, all this is essential. Once when I rise to a certain extent, then I understand, no. That is why Swamiji said, you are not to be pure, you are already pure. You are not to be free, you are already free. Realize it, recognize it, assert it. I think that should be all right. There is no problem. It is because we have not worked out the problem. You work. It is. That's a challenge thrown to you. That's a challenge thrown to you. You work on it so that you will be free from Alzheimer's. No. That's the only way. Sharpen the intellect, sharpen the mind, sharpen the buddhi. Then, and if it is easy, and if it is easy, I don't want to get it. If it is so easy, it's not worth attaining. What is that something? If you want to become an Olympic player and you think it is very easy, what is the use? All of us cannot become Olympic athletes. You want to become an Olympic athlete, whether you win or not, to go there, you are really great that you have been there, let alone winning, to be an athlete. So to be a sadhaka, if we do not understand that it is very hard, there's no meaning. Nothing is easy. You want to earn $1, you have to work, isn't it? And what to speak of infinite joy and infinite existence and infinite knowledge? It is. Okay.
Just a few quick announcements. The yoga class is not on at the moment. It's not on during school holidays. So after the school holidays, it'll recommence. This Friday night, we have the fortnightly spiritual discussion led by Gayatri Pranaji. Next Sunday, we've got a very special event, the Durga Puja celebration. And Madhu Sen and the Temple of Arts will be here with singers and musicians, including Tanim Hayat, the very wonderful sarod player. He'll be here. So we do hope you can join us next Sunday. We'll have the flower offering ceremony to Mother Durga. There'll be talks by Dr. Dilip Datta and Gayatri Pranaji. And sadly, she's not back here yet, but Aloka Pranaji, who is visiting us for a month, she will be departing for India tomorrow, very early tomorrow morning. I think, is she coming soon? 1 o'clock. All right. But it's been wonderful having her here with us. We're very thankful she could come and spend some time here. Have donation plate, donation box up the back. And thanks for those who joined us via Zoom. Greetings to you.